and welcome to another episode of Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers, where we're always going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly about flowers. I'm Fern, here with Ryan, Joel in the mixtape. Mike is in the house, and our awesome, badass, kick-ass guest is none other than Kelsea Olivia, founder, president, CEO, creative director of East Olivia. I added in a couple. I added in one. She was missing one. How you doing? Welcome.
Welcome. I'm doing very well. So happy to be here.
How did your event go last night?
Oh, it was killer. It was for Poppy Soda. Probably my favorite client. One of my favorite clients for sure. They're just. You familiar with Poppy Soda?
No. I'm very curious. I haven't pulled my phone out yet because I'm trying to pay attention.
Fastest growing beverage, non-alcoholic beverage company, I believe, in the world, at least the U.S., but they're so impressive.
Won't be long till Coke owns them.
Yeah, they buy out their competition.
They buy them out.
They'll be billionaires soon.
You can only get so far before Coke says sorry.
Yeah, they're changing the soda game. It's pretty cool. Prebiotic soda. Really incredible, female founded. Founder's name's Allison. She's a badass. But their colors are for their branding, very vibrant. A lot of different color. Every single flavor has different branding and color on their product. And so when we get to work with them, it's so fun because we love color, obviously.
And where are they based out of?
They're based out of Austin, Texas.
Okay. Ryan's favorite spot.
It's one of them. I like them. It's up there.
That's a so you go to Austin a lot because that's an awesome city. I love Austin.
I do get to Austin typically at least once a year.
You're like Ryan.
If not more. I used to work in the music industry, and I used to go to South by Southwest every year.
So does Ryan.
I've never been to South by Southwest.
Really? I don't know. Well, I mean, I can't say I don't know what it's like now. I go now, but I usually go to do floral, and I'm usually more part of like tech or interactive.
When is South by Southwest? Isn't it like around Mother's Day?
It's in the spring usually. It's typically March, April. Yeah, usually in March.
It's like 3 weeks, right? There's a tech, there's a music, and there's like an entertainment side, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when I used to go, I was heavily involved in music. You guys know Mumford & Sons, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was actually scrolling.
Oh, Sanford & Son.
No.
Mumford
& Sons.
He just played Sanford.
He did.
Sanford & Son music. You know what that is, Joe?
It's what he did.
No. You'll add it in.
But yeah, I saw Mumford & Sons at a tiny little pizza restaurant.
That's
sitting
awesome.
on the floor, and you should have seen it. They were dressed so poorly. Well, except for Marcus because he's always had great fashion, but the other guys were in like soccer shorts and like weird jerseys, and it's so funny. And on TikTok, actually, someone just recently posted this video from years ago.
I was about to say, I feel like I just saw a video of them like playing like.
Yeah, and I'm in it.
So you were there. Really? You're in it.
Yeah, and you can see I'm like sitting on the floor with my friends, and I'm like, I'm on the phone. It's a fucking BlackBerry. I'm on my little BlackBerry,
I love the BlackBerry.
BBM. I missed that.
Did you have a BlackBerry?
Yes, I loved it. BlackBerry was my all-time favorite phone.
Yeah, I agree.
You had a BlackBerry?
Yeah, it was up there for sure.
Yeah.
There was nothing
better.
The
Razor. The Razor was dope when it first came out.
The Razor was dope.
Did you have a Sidekick?
I had the Sidekick. I had the StarTAC.
Yeah.
I had all those. The G2.
These guys were big on Nextels. Those sucked.
Those got me in
I never
trouble.
had one of those.
I would never silence them. And in college, you hear, "Hey, asshole," in the middle of class taking a test. So I hated that thing.
I'm sure people love that.
So you were here for Art Basel. That's why you're here in town.
Yes, that is why I'm here.
Where are you based?
I'm based in New York City.
Oh, really?
Oh, but she's a California girl. She went like reverse coast. Most people go from New York to California.
I just took the red eye in from California.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's really the only way to do it, because if you don't do a red eye, you lose the whole day. And it, especially as a business owner, I'm sure you know, it's just like unacceptable to lose a whole day.
Mike and Casey are running on fumes. These guys, they're crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I feel.
So where are you in New York City?
So I live in Harlem, which I love.
Yeah.
I've been in Manhattan. I've been in New York for 11 years now, and I've always lived in Manhattan. Started on the Upper West Side, and then been in Harlem for probably 7-8 years
Harlem,
now.
like what, 120s?
I'm at 138th and
138th?
Riverside.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm right on the water. It's great. I love it. It's so
Cool.
easy to get around. And then our
Are you
studio.
in a brownstone?
Kind of, yeah. It's a townhome. I mean, it's not technically a brownstone, but it basically is.
Yeah.
I got a little home studio there, and then we have a studio in Long Island City, studio and fulfillment center for Shop East Olivia, and then we have a little storefront and studio space on 28th Street, actually right next to Dutch Floral Line.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's really cool. We just opened it recently. The basement is tables and cooler, slop sink, so floral designers can rent those out by the hour, which is really awesome. And then the ground floor is Forever Floral stem bar, and then upstairs we have this beautiful studio, and it's a photo studio that you can rent out, and you can also rent it out for events. It's really gorgeous.
So you're at 140 West?
150 West 28th.
150. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you know your shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's right
I grew
there.
up there.
Yeah,
I
that's
grew up at
awesome.
110.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
amazing.
building's still there.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Falling
awesome.
down, I think.
That's cool. Are you the only like design studio on the spot on that street?
You know, I can't say that definitively. I know there's been a couple throughout the years, but usually like sort of come and go.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're not doing most of our design out of there. It's really kind of more of like a flex.
No, I think of like a
space.
rental concept.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
really cool. Like you go down 20th Street, you buy what you need, you design
I
it
don't
right
know
there
what
on the
it
spot.
costs, but it ain't cheap.
Yeah, well,
That's for
there
sure.
are some other studios, but what I found is like, so when I started my business, I was living in a 6th floor walk up in Harlem, which was crazy because, as you guys know, it's just like
6th floor walk up,
That'd
6
be-
floors, no elevator.
no elevator.
Good lord.
Yeah, so
move out.
running a floral business.
Could you
with-
imagine that on a drunken night trying to get back upstairs?
Yeah, well,
That's best case.
a drunken night trying to get back upstairs, especially after a tear down or something, and you've got all these flowers, is just awful.
Oh man.
So I think there's really a need in the city for floral designers, especially ones that are starting out, to be able to, you know, just, I mean, it's schlepping everything back to your apartment, working out of your apartment is so tough. So I thought that would be a nice add-on for the community. So there are some other studio spaces you can rent out on 28th Street, but I think they're all by the day. So we do by the hour. So it's just flexible
see.
for people.
But you're also in Long Island City.
Yes. Long Island City is where our event studio and then fulfillment center is out of. So we have two sides of the business.
So
We have,
you go shopping at J. Van Vliet and...
I actually have never been there.
Really?
I need to go.
Oh yeah,
it's
go
like a-
see Robert.
it's
He's
like
got
a
a good thing going
He
over there.
he has messaged me. You know, I need to talk to him. It's just, you know, how chaotic and busy it can be as a business owner. But it's like around the corner from our studio. It's probably like 5-minute drive.
No kidding.
So I really need to connect with him.
So where are you getting your flowers from if it's not from around the corner?
Well, I get a lot of my flowers from, I mean, mostly off of 28th Street. I mean, we do a mix of all the vendors there
Yeah.
because we're always kind of
Who's your go-to? Associated?
I've been doing a lot more work with Fleur Metz, which
Joey.
Joe is great. They actually just were a partner with us on this. We launched weddings recently because we do mostly corporate, and they were our partner for this gorgeous, what we call the Museum of Matrimony.
That Joey's one of the hardest workers.
He's
I've
a
ever
hard
met.
worker, man.
He's incredible.
You and him
We
went
grew
to
up
the same
together.
school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mike, if you don't know,
We were
Mike,
both kids over there.
Mike was a wholesaler on 28th Street. His
Yeah,
father
I-
and uncle had a company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey
Black and
used to
Cool.
work at Rallis at that time with Daryl.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
They're on 6th Avenue.
Okay.
Next to US Evergreen. Next
Oh,
to
okay.
Joanne.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that street has just become
Hotels
I
and all
know.
kinds of shit. Yeah.
It's so tough. I mean, there's still obviously amazing wholesalers there, but you know, it's funny too as a floral designer, and you know, we're all there busting our ass trying to get work done, and it's like you're just stuck behind somebody with a suitcase like every day.
Yeah. And the city doesn't make it easy either.
No, and there's absolutely no parking.
There used to be a parking lot next to Dutch Flower Line.
Yeah.
I used to pay $50 a month.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
No,
and now
it's
it's like
unbelievable.
$50 an
day.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hour?
it's like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
For
It's
but
crazy.
you have to have a commercial vehicle, which thankfully we do. But the whole street gets congested with non-commercial vehicles because there's obviously a lot of people that don't have them that still need to pull up. And if you're coming in, rolling in after 9 or 10, which our
happens.
team aren't the
happens.
biggest morning people, it's usually a struggle for parking.
When I was a kid in 20th, we had a cop that that was his beat. The flower market was his beat. And
So he would make
controlled
sure
everything.
the traffic.
Yeah, he
everyone in and
controlled
out.
all that. People that didn't belong were shooed away.
I
and people
love that.
did
I wish-
belong.
I wish there was somebody like that now because it's crazy. And the parking tickets, it's actually gotten better because a lot of people complained. But I mean, there was one year I think
when Bloomberg was there, it was a pain in the ass.
it was awful. I mean, I think I got somewhere in the realm of $3,000 to $5,000 worth of parking tickets.
Good Lord.
And I would get, I'm not even kidding. And I would
That
get
was a
parking
business
tickets.
expense.
I would
they
get
boot
parking
ya?
tickets. No, I would get parking tickets even and often, even when paying, like commercial vehicle paid for it. And I would like run down the street after the person giving me the ticket. I'm like, why are you giving me a ticket?
How does a commercial vehicle pay for parking? In the street, you mean?
Yeah, there's an app. It's
Oh.
just, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Everything's an app now.
Everything's an app.
Well, it's all public parking now
Yeah.
as an app. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no more
Yeah.
change things.
I have like
Yeah.
3 different apps for Miami alone.
That's pretty cool.
Pay by phone.
Yeah.
Pay by phone. Yeah, there's 3. There's 3
Yeah, I
different
mean, I
ones.
have
Pay
apps
to
for parking
park,
here
pay
and I don't
by
even live here.
Pay MD something.
And how did you get your start in the flower business?
Well,
Take us back.
Okay,
Yeah, from
I
music
will.
to flowers.
Yeah,
Where did that
that's an
transition?
interesting story.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I grew up like really into music, and in high school, like I just was constantly at concerts, like living at music venues. That was my whole
Like Nicole.
Yeah,
my whole
Nikki
vibe.
P.
And so I started working in music at the age of 18. And I did all kinds of stuff. I worked in street teaming, which I don't know if any of y'all even know what that
What's
is.
that?
No, what is that?
Street teaming. Okay, so street teaming would be like back in the day, we would basically, bands would release a record and we would send out promo materials to their street team. So all over the US, sometimes across the world, we would send out posters, stickers. They have a tour coming up, and then kids, basically, usually teenagers, would go put those posters up in their local coffee shops, at their music venue, at their local record store.
That's like
Does that still exist?
No, that's like the beginning of club promoters. See, she was a street teamer. I was a club
I posted
promoter.
bills one summer.
Did you really?
All over the place.
With
That's
gum
awesome.
paste, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, with a
That's
big
awesome.
bucket of glue, and
Yeah.
and we mostly did it like on construction sites and shit, where there were like
The walls.
plywood walls,
That's so cool.
and we would just plaster the walls with the same poster.
I
over and
I
over
love
and over
that
again.
when it's the same poster.
wanna-
down
The
whole
the
line
strip.
of it?
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But you
for
had to
sure.
do it at night,
Yeah, well,
like
because
in the
you're
wee
not-
hours of the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our street team was a little. It wasn't quite like that, but
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted. I want
forgot
to.
all about that.
I want to run a marketing campaign at some point for Shop East Olivia in the city and do those. I think
Just
it would be so
cover,
much.
yeah, for sure.
Why the
Absolutely.
hell
Everything
not?
in posters.
Absolutely.
That is
Why the
so
hell not?
awesome.
Yeah, but anyway, so I started out in street teaming, and then of course that led to like MySpace and Facebook, and I used to run bands MySpaces and stuff like that. And so I was in the like indie rock pop scene, and then sort of
I miss MySpace. I miss. That's when
Top 8? You miss your
top
oh, yeah.
8.
Top 8,
And then
yeah.
I
you
don't even know
drop
what
somebody
that
out
is.
of there. You drop them out of there. You get a phone call. 10
yeah,
minutes
that's
later.
Joel,
it's
did
just
you have a
like-
MySpace?
No, I was way too young for
Way
that.
too young. Joel doesn't even know who Tom is.
MySpace
Oh my
had
God.
us as like micro coders. Like we were changing the
Yeah, I
font
was
and
like
the color.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. MySpace, AIM, all those things. You were making mini micro websites.
I was doing HTML. I
Hell
was like,
yeah.
I was designing the band's MySpace pages. Yeah, it was fun. And then I kind of segued over into, I worked for a dance label, oddly enough, not dance music and house and all that's not really my jam. But I did that anyways. And then we brought on some cool DJs and stuff that I was actually really into, like A-Track and Steve
A-Track.
Aoki and
Yeah. No, not that 8-track. No.
Oh no!
That's 8. She's saying A.
A. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 8-track. I got all excited.
Yeah. It's funny though, guys. Like
I have some.
Did you grow up with 8-tracks? That was your thing?
My dad had 8-tracks.
Okay, I was about to say, I didn't think you were that far back.
I had 8 tracks.
I
You
have
had
a-
8-tracks?
Yeah, man. We
What?
had 8 tracks.
I still have some Barry White.
I used to
8-track.
play my jam. Ba la 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 bamba.
That might be worth
8-track.
something, I wonder. I bet those 8 tracks might be.
Hell yeah, I bet they are. But yeah, it was fun. I like ran. So we had like Steve Aoki and his record label Dim Mak.
That's the guy that throws the cakes.
People.
Remember the DJ who throws the cakes?
No.
No. Oh my god. I'll show you the video later.
Don't worry, we talked about it.
We have talked about it,
It'll
yeah.
pop up on your phone a little later.
It's funny. It feels like another life. I would like run the door, and the guest list
Club
of these
life.
clubs in LA. So funny.
Are you a musician as well?
No.
No.
No, I'm not. I mean, I've sang a little here and there. But
Sing right now on the spot, right?
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
What would be your
not.
go? Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Actually,
I feel like everybody who can
I
sing
have
has a
my,
go-to karaoke
My
song.
go-to karaoke song is "I Like Big Butts" by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
that's amazing.
That's my
Go
go-to.
ahead, Fern. Give the people a little sample.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
There you go.
That was amazing. I don't have a go-to karaoke song. Yeah, I really don't. I probably have to think about that a little
Can't
bit
wait
more.
for the Christmas party.
But yeah, I'd probably just pick any Taylor Swift song. Really,
Okay.
I'm a big
You're Swiftie?
Oh, you're
I
little
am
Swiftie.
I
you.
am a big Swiftie.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you go to her concert?
Yes, I did.
How many times?
I just went once.
Okay.
Although I might be going to one of the Spain shows. We'll
Sick.
see. But I went to the one in Denver. I was very lucky. I was able to
Mile High?
get on the list, which was very
Nice.
cool.
He probably has no idea what a Swiftie is.
He knows what a Swiftie is, right?
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
What's a
Okay.
Swiftie?
She's Travis Kelsey's girlfriend.
Oh, there you
Oh
go.
yeah, she's gonna break.
Not
She's
the
gonna
other way
break
around.
that
I
man's
love
heart.
that.
Yesterday I was in a meeting with Sam
He put her on the
at
map.
Allen's.
He did.
Sam and Brad, me and Casey were in a meeting with them, and we were talking about the Speaking Roses and the Spotify codes and stuff. And they seem to think that if we could put a Taylor Swift rose together, that it would be really popular.
We literally did the Spotify codes. We did it, the eras. We did a different.
No, we need a we need a
did a different
Swift-
variety.
we
Had
need
a different album.
We
I
need
love
a
that.
Taylor Swift silhouette
yeah.
on
Yeah.
like a
It's just like a straight line. What does that look like?
That's pretty funny.
That is funny.
stick figure.
Stick figure, right?
There
Okay.
you go.
Oh my gosh.
She's gonna break Travis Kelsey's heart, but the album's gonna be epic.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. But anyway, so yeah, worked in music for a long time. I really enjoyed it, but I did get a little burnout. I also after working with electronic music, I managed bands, did PR, all sorts of stuff. I did a little bit of tour management. That was fun. Yeah, one day I just woke up and I was like, I'm too tired to do this anymore. I kind of got a little burnout and didn't. It sort of, it was kind of a bummer. I used to go to so many concerts, and I would go sometimes 3 shows a night in
Oh, wow.
LA.
Oh, man.
Yeah, especially when I was working with bands too. It's like you'd have different showcases and stuff that were weekly. But yeah, I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm burnt out on this. I don't want to do this anymore. And in fact, I don't even really want to go to concerts or shows anymore. It just kind of zapped me of my sort of interest in that, which is a bit of a bummer. And then I was interested in doing something more creative. And I was talking to a girlfriend at the time who was a display coordinator at Anthropology. And I was asking her, how do you get more into a creative? Do you know what that is?
I just love the
No.
look.
Okay.
I love the way he looks at me.
Absolutely. We all
I
laughed
was
at
waiting
this.
for someone to tell me what that was.
Okay, let me tell you. Okay, are you familiar with Anthropology, the store?
It's kind of a big
No,
deal.
he hasn't.
Or
Mike,
Urban Outfitters?
No, I'm a Walmart guy.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
he hasn't. When was the last time you went to the mall, Mike?
So the shirt I'm wearing right now is the
That
first.
little fishies on it?
This is the first. Let me tell you something. This is the first shirt that I ever bought that wasn't in a tall and fat store.
Nice. What
This
size is that?
This is extra large. That's right.
And it's loose on you. You're probably a large.
That's right.
Good job, Joel.
It's true.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Congratulations. That's great. Yeah, that must feel good.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
Well, Anthropology is owned by Urban Outfitters. Urban Outfitters is big, kind of URBN. They have a bunch of brands under them. Multi-million, probably billion-dollar company. Anyway,
Like the Gap, right?
like a much more artsy version of a retail. So they have a lot of things in their stores. Like in Anthropologie, you walk in, it's like a whole environment. And it used to be more that way. I think they've really cut back on this stuff, but each store would have all these display elements. Like they were really well known for beautiful window displays, beautiful interiors, and everything was very touch of hand. Like you could tell that somebody made
like
it.
the boutiques on Madison Avenue kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Everything was thought of like that. Okay. That store, going in Anthropologie is an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience for sure.
They
so anyway,
have men's clothes or
no. I just have to sit there and let Barbie shop, and then I get the pleasure of paying at the end. It's
there
fantastic.
You go. Yeah, that sounds like
and
a lot
carrying
of
the bags.
Yeah.
And then you go to Louis Vuitton store.
Those are your specialties,
and
Fern.
then
Those are your skills.
I feel like
I
tell Barbie all the time, I am her I'm her executive assistant.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It could be worse things.
Buy this, return this. It's crazy.
The price you got to pay.
I'm being tortured here, guys.
Yeah. So anyway, I had a very creative friend, and I was like, I want to do something more creative. What do you suggest? You know, how do I get started? I didn't even really know what I wanted to do. And she was like, you just need to get started. She's like, because I was kind of interested in prop styling or styling for photo shoots or things like that. And she was like, you just have to start and see if you can get people to collaborate with you. And she's like, you're going to hate what you do probably initially, but it's so important that you just like get started and create things, and then you'll kind of find what you're passionate about. She was totally right. And so I did start putting together like photo shoots with friends. I wasn't necessarily doing flowers or anything like that.
What were like some of your early photo shoots like? What were they focused on?
So one of the first ones was a wedding photo shoot, and I actually did it in like Portland, Oregon, with some friends. And you know what's funny is I look back on those photos and I'm like, this is actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
I have such fond memories of that. And there's something that really sparked in me, that sort of the collaboration, working with people that you respect, trust, and admire, that are talented, and just coming together and creating something was really sort of like it created this fun energy, and I really was attracted to that. And I was living in LA at the time, and I moved to New York. I had initially moved to New York thinking like, oh, I would work in the music industry, because that was really one of the only other cities that had a music industry in it. But I didn't want to do that anymore when I got there, and I was like, I don't really know what to do. I'm figuring out my life. So I started working actually at Anthropologie. I started working for their wedding line, which at the time was called Beholden. Now they just changed it to Anthropologie Weddings. But anyway, I was working at their wedding line, and it was a new...
Is their wedding line like just like props and like...
No, it's like gowns and stuff like that,
cool.
and accessories and things like that.
I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah, they used to have more decor items. They don't have as much now, but when I worked there, they had cake stands and all kinds of little, all those like touches. So I got involved in the visual merchandising of the bridal line inside of an Anthropologie, and we needed flowers because it was a bridal shop. So they sent me to the New York City flower market, and I just fell in love. I mean, I'll never forget that first day walking down 28th Street. Like, I could get emotional about it.
Do you know what year that was?
I believe it was 2015, 2016, probably.
So there was still more stores there then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not all hotels, right?
Yeah, less hotels, more stores.
Bloomberg rezoned the area. And when he rezoned the area, they allowed for big skyscrapers where it wasn't allowed before.
Is there a secondary flower market in New York?
No.
Not really,
No.
right?
But there is the New York Flower Group, and they're out in Queens.
Yeah, they have Long Island City spot
and
too.
then the J Van Vliet, he's got like a nice cash and carry setup over there.
Yeah.
I just met the J Van Vliet.
Oh, really? That's
in
very
Holland.
cool.
Yeah, it was
That's
really cool.
awesome.
And Kevin, his son too.
I gotta make it to Holland. Ugh. But anyway, I just fell in love with it. You know what's so cool about New York? It's so funny because since I'm from California, people will be like, "Oh, don't you just love the LA flower market like so much more?" Because it's so it's big. You can park, which is really nice.
You can park. Yeah, that's a big.
And
plus.
it's not that I don't love the LA flower market. The LA flower market is amazing, but New York flower market I think is really, and I've been to markets all over the world, and it's really my favorite. I just think that the purveyors of product there are so talented. And you just, I remember this sort of sense of childlike wonderment of seeing flowers that I'd never seen before. The first time you see an Icelandic poppy, you know, or just like a crazy variety of a garden rose you've never seen before. You know, I just
and each one of them has like a specialty.
Yeah, and that's what's so fun, because it's like we do have our go-tos, of course, but you know, and I got to shout out Caribbean Cuts. Love Tom over at Caribbean Cuts. I mean, you know, certainly not in my.
I know the original guy was not Tom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, he's not the original guy. It was a husband and wife. I can't remember their name, but they lived upstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they were ahead of their time. They were bringing in all crazy tropicals and stuff in the 80s.
Oh, that's so cool.
Were they from the Caribbean, you think?
No, I just maybe they hung out there a lot. I'm not sure, but they were the only ones that had that cool shit.
Yeah, and well, he's carrying on that legacy very well, because he just, I mean, he was actually the first, when I did my first large scale installation.
There it is.
And I'll tell you guys that story in a minute, because that was very integral to my entire career and East Olivia as a whole. But he was the first wholesaler I ever partnered with. And, you know, essentially I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I basically, okay, so I'll kind of like wrap this up for you in terms of how I got to flowers. So I fell in love with the flower market. I was like, I had to take this feeling and share it with other people.
The feeling of you like being in the market and just being like in love with the flowers.
Yeah, and like that sense of like, because, you know, I mean, I don't know what y'all's upbringing is like. Obviously, we're not going to get into that here. Hopefully not anyway. We would need more drinks and many more hours. But, you know, I had a pretty tough upbringing, and I think like connecting to childlike sense of wonder, and that is like, to experience that as an adult is a very precious. And so for me, that's what flowers creates. And I want to create that for other people. I want like.
Do you still have that same?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh my God, absolutely. And what I think is even cooler is like, I know people can like get like fucking weird about dyed or painted flowers, which I think is such bullshit, because there's so many ways to do it in environmentally friendly ways. And I think there's just so much artistry truly to that side of the industry. I think
we're going to be best friends, you know.
Yeah,
that's why we've already been, you know, like we've already known each other because of that color and because of she's so not afraid of that color. Like we've already, you know,
I think it's so
the
cool,
attraction was already there.
Like what we as human beings can do to sort of manipulate and bring just our own artistry and sort of like voice to nature. And, you know, there's different opinions on that, of course, but it's like, obviously I have to shout out House of Stems and Kristen Flower Pistol. I mean, she and I are so close, and I love her work. And now I'm like losing my train of thought. Why was I talking about that?
We're getting into flowers. We're talking about how you got into flowers.
Yeah.
Childlike wonder.
And so I think even beyond what like what nature just creates, right? I love to see then our human interaction with it and what we can do with it as a medium. And when I fell in love with flowers in the flower market, I realized I was like, flowers are my medium, because I picked up flowers and I started working with them, and I just had a natural inclination towards it. And I actually had a boss at the time at Anthropology who she noticed what I was doing with flowers, and then she kept giving me more and more opportunities, not only within the bridal brand, which was really small at Anthropology, but within the larger Anthropology brand, which at the time in New York, I think there were 5 or 6 stores. And eventually I created my own job. I switched over to Anthro. I was in virtual merchandising. So, you know, just kind of setting the floor with all the new clothes that would come in, and then working with this display team and things like that. And my job became every season when we reset the floor, I was in charge of sourcing all the plants and all the flowers.
Fun.
It was really fun. But what was cool is that my boss at the time...
And the seasonal decor as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't setting that necessarily. It was like coming from home office, but that was determining and setting the sort of the narrative tone for then what I would pick out, right?
Would they give you a plan, or would they just let you be free and do your thing?
In terms of flowers?
In terms of incorporating the flowers.
I was kind of free to do my thing, which was really cool because my boss really trusted me. And she actually, the reason that I think it was so cool that she picked up on my talent was that her aunt owns Sag Harbor Florist, Annie. I don't know if you're familiar with that business, but
too far east.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
but
all the way out in Long Island somewhere.
Yeah, in the Hamptons, which I love the Hamptons. It's actually part of where the East Olivia name comes from.
Fun.
But yeah, so
I just met somebody who took over Claire Penny's business or something, or works with Claire Penny out there in the Hamptons.
I'm not familiar with that name.
She's been like a wholesaler out there in the Hamptons for like 100 years.
Oh, really? Wow, yeah. That's cool.
I don't know if she's still doing it or somebody else. She's working with somebody. I'm not sure, but I met somebody who told me that he was out in the Hamptons wholesaling flowers.
We do a lot of work in the Hamptons in the summer, which is like my favorite place to be in the summer for sure. But yeah, so she gave me a lot of opportunity, which was awesome. And then what I did, because I'm just like an entrepreneur at heart. I've been starting businesses since I was like a little kid, and I would
like what kind of business when you're little?
So when I was little, so my mom was a hairdresser, so I would, I'd pick up gigs at the hair. I'd sweep the floors, pick up the phone, whatever. Yeah. But I would also, I remember there was like a Martha Stewart magazine that had like beaded dragonfly barrettes that you could make, and I would like make those, and then I would take them to the salon and sell them. So silly.
Cool. So you've always been artsy, and you've always, tried to build the business.
I really have always been very entrepreneurial, because even when I was at Anthropology, I made up kind of my own position, which was so fun.
What was the title of that? Did they call it something?
Oh God, I can't remember. I feel like the older
creative
I get, I wish
that was way before creative directors and marketing directors were really like a thing.
They weren't a thing.
Well, no, 2016. I guess that was a thing.
Yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I would moonlight a lot. Every minute I had off, I was doing a gig. And my job and my boss was very supportive of that. So, and this is how I got into large scale installs. So there was a conference called Create and Cultivate. A women's conference all around sort of entrepreneurship, and they were coming to New York.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was very integral to the East Olivia story. So I saw that they were coming to New York, and I sent a cold email to them, and I was like, "Hey, I saw y'all are coming. I love what you're doing. Do you need any flowers?" I'm thinking, yeah, they're going to tell me they want some arrangements or something. So they hit me back up. I was so excited, and they're like, "Yes, we'd love a 15 by 20 foot suspended installation."
Oh,
and I had
shit.
I had never done anything like that before, and I was like, "Sure."
Talk about a trial by fire. Wow,
yeah,
that's a real, real trial right there.
Really
that's hard.
How high was it up?
I mean, it was above a bar at this place called the Knockdown Center, and it was lifted up pretty high. It was a good 20 feet, 10, 15, 20 feet.
Take us through it. Take us through a little bit. So like they asked you said yes,
yes.
And then just went
did
to
you
work?
even know what that was? I mean, did you have to look it up?
Well, a big part of, because I was working at Anthro and the display team, and I worked at Rock Center Anthropology, which is their flagship. And so you're talking about the Fifth Avenue window displays, like they're part of that, which is also an annual competition. Like the artistry and the access that I had.
I love window displays. I'm a big fan of window displays.
Yeah, it's so fun. But I said yes because I knew I had access to people that could help me do it. I knew that I had enough resources. And so I just went to kind of people that I knew, a lot of them being anthro people. And I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? And they basically like, look, we have a giant neon that says collaboration over competition. And we want that neon on top of flowers. So I worked with some friends, came up with a sketch. I worked with Tom over at Caribbean Cuts. I got all the flowers together, and literally I'd never done this before. And I come in and I hire some people to help. And I remember we used those like the grids that you put clothing on for like a trade show.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get them from like Uline and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we use as our base, our base structure.
Those are pretty heavy though.
Yeah,
right?
they are pretty heavy, but they had a good rigging system.
Okay.
And I didn't have to rig it. Thankfully, I remember them like putting me in touch with the production team, and the production team's like, okay, how do you envision this going up? How do you want to rig it? Like, you're the expert here. Like, I am absolutely not the expert.
You just gotta pretend, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I
you
was
just say
like,
you know what you're doing.
You don't know that, and hopefully you'll never find out that I'm not the expert. And they didn't, because we pulled it off flawlessly. It was amazing. But
how funny would it have been if it was like their first time too?
Yeah,
like
right.
never.
Yeah, that's why they're asking you. Like, oh, are you sure that's how you want it? Because we don't know how to do this.
We don't know how to do this.
That seems like a good idea. Let's try.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got a whole crew together, and I loved it. I love making arrangements. I love doing things like solo, but honestly, it kind of touches on like what I did with those first styled shoots, that bringing together people for creative collaboration. And like, that's what I love about large scale installs. I can't do it by myself. I love that it takes like other people's skill sets, minds, innovation, imagination to pull something together. There's something very, very beautiful about that. We put this huge installation together. It looked absolutely gorgeous. And I got to stay at the event, which I had kind of like brokered in our, I was like, okay, whatever, it's going to cost this much. And then I'd also like some tickets to the event so I could experience the conference. Yeah. And there were so many brand sponsors there, and I really saw an opportunity. And I did they had passed along some other
So it opened some networking opportunities for you.
I saw a huge opportunity. I literally said to myself that day, I was like, I want to become the exclusive floral designer for this event. And over time, I did just that.
Fuck yeah.
And at our biggest Create and Cultivate, thank you. At our biggest Create and Cultivate in San Francisco, which I think was in, I can't remember the year, it was probably 2019, I think. We did 45 installations for one event. For one conference.
So how many people does that take?
I think our team was between 15. I think we had around 15 people probably. And we had multiple days to load in. But want to know a crazy story about that?
Yeah.
About that event?
Of course.
Okay. So I was in the
crazier the better.
The heyday of Pampas Grass, of course. The heyday. And
Mike Jr.'s wedding.
It's not over yet. It's still going.
It's still going. But this is in this like heyday of Pampas Grass. We had done I think it was like a 10 by 10 wall of Pampas Grass. I left the venue to walk across the street, get a cup of coffee, and I get a call from Bridget, who's my like right hand. She's amazing. And she goes, you need to get back over here immediately. Our installation just went up in flames. I was like,
oh man.
I was like, wait a second.
I'm sorry. Grass.
That's
I'm
a
sorry.
movie.
What? I walk back over and like run back over. Mm-hmm. Turns out, so there were some gentlemen that were installing some vinyl signage. They thought it would be a good idea to use a blowtorch to heat up.
They use the blowtorch to like
heat up.
It makes the like, let's say you have like a very rigid or like a beveled shape.
It smooths
the
it
blowtorch makes the vinyl stick to it and like morph to the shape better.
It shrinks it. Right?
It shrink wraps. It's like shrink wrap, exactly. Yeah.
And it caught. Pampas Grass is very flammable. Yeah. And this was also, we hand dyed it.
But hold on, you can look at Pampas Grass and be like, man, I shouldn't have a flame around.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Also, we were in like a historical building that had no sprinkler system.
No, nothing like that.
Man.
And these guys, I'm just like, who thought this was a good idea? I'll have to show you guys pictures. I have pictures, not to mention, the way that I run my business with dried and preserved materials is that it's all rented. And all of that Pampas Grass was, back in the day, I hand dyed all my Pampas Grass. And that was probably like, for me, like $5,000 worth of my inventory just gone up in flames.
Man.
All of us, and we always wore pink jumpsuits at that time. Like, those pink jumpsuits just sweeping up this like charred Pampas Grass, shoving it into the trash can. It was crazy. But what was nuts is then we had to put fire retardant on everything. And fire retardant on flowers, we could probably have a whole podcast about that. It's really boring, but it is something that I've had to do multiple times.
Does that change the effect of the flowers?
Yeah. It doesn't.
Like I imagine that spraying anything on
it
pampas
just
grass
droops.
So what? Like it's in a bottle? It's in a spray can?
Yeah, they spray it in like one of those big jugs.
Okay.
You know, that kind of has like a fine mister. Yeah.
The chemical kind of thing.
and it works. Have you ever tested it?
Yeah, because the fire marshal will literally come and light a flame.
Oh shit!
You use it a lot on. It's very common in faux florals and faux floral installations. If you think about it, restaurants.
I wonder how many flowers are actually flammable. Are all flowers flammable?
I don't think so. It's
Like,
really more. It's more dried. It's more the dried stuff,
okay.
and then plastic. Any of the plastic stuff because the chemicals.
We should light fires from fire and see what happens.
Silks are
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I've never. We had to use the flame retardant on fresh flowers as well because we had dried and fresh mixed. But that was, we were up all night. I think I pulled like a 24-hour day because we had to get everything.
You got to redo
covered.
everything.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, that pampas grass installation just didn't happen after that. I mean, there was just no making it happen unless they wanted a charred wall as their backdrop. Yeah, it was crazy.
Did you guys see that video of like, I don't know where that wedding was, but like there was a wedding recently, like there was a fire that broke out and like 40 people died.
Oh my God.
Like the centerpiece caught fire in the middle of like the first dance and people couldn't get out.
Oh my God.
That's
like
terrifying.
Literally a lot of people.
So I have
like the terribly ugly about flowers.
Yeah, that's really
that
scary.
is some ugly shit about
That's
flowers.
really scary.
Well, I mean, yeah, you brought up the whole thing catching on fire, and that's what I went to, unfortunately. But
Yeah, that is ugly.
But I've been to a lot of like events where the candles were a little too close to like the draperies and all this stuff.
It always feels like that.
And you
Barbie
think to
set
yourself,
my kitchen on fire one time.
Oh yeah,
With
a candle.
Putting a candle underneath wood like blinds.
No, but sometimes like there's like candles in the middle of the flowers, and then they have like something hanging down.
cascading, yeah.
Even pampas grass
Like a
could be
little
like right
vase or
there.
something.
Yeah, but I've seen the candles like right next to the drapes hanging off the walls and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it's
really
not-
close. I was
not
like,
good.
And I said to myself, this shit don't belong there.
Yeah, but depending on the event and the scale of the event, like that stuff the fabric might have been treated with flame retardant. It's very, very possible.
Never thought about that. Yeah.
But would it really not burn the fabric?
Yeah, if it's treated properly, yeah. And there are fabrics that you can source that are flame retardant.
So basically, it's
I
the
don't know
same
if
stuff that
anybody
they
in
put on
Florida
the
is that
firefighters.
responsible.
It's just regular
Bunker
retardant
gear.
in Florida.
It
I
must
mean,
be the
flame.
same stuff.
Florida has the regular.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They're not using the flame retardant here.
That stuff must be the same stuff they spray on like a firefighter's bunker gear.
Probably.
Yeah,
You know, it must be the same
stuff like that.
That's stiff, though.
It's serious.
That's
That
why I
makes it
asked
kinda
what is the
stiff.
Well,
does
and
it
that's why
affect
she
the
said it
flowers?
made
Yeah.
the flowers. There's
Yeah,
no
well,
movement. There's no movement
Especially
in the
for
flowers
the
out there.
pampas grass, it just made it kind of droopy. But we did a huge installation at this really sick nightclub in Boston called Kavu last January, and we had more moss than I've ever seen in one place. It was so much moss, but all of it had to be sprayed with that chemical. It's crazy, and it's like and that becomes talk about the ugly part of the flower business. Like that just becomes like a whole other line item you have to deal with. Like something as like a business owner, you have to like make sure like
But is that is that shit you could just go buy it, or you need to hire a company to
we
come in
hire
and do
somebody to do it. You can buy it,
like a
you
fire
can. And we have-
protection company?
on smaller gigs we've
And that
treated.
is that your responsibility or the venue's responsibility?
Usually
to
it's a
make sure?
partnership. It really depends. Like some clients maybe like we want you to handle this, but like with that nightclub, we worked with them in partnership to like hire somebody to come and spray all of that.
Yeah, because they got to have it for insurance. Ever since that the whole pyro and the nightclub caught fire,
Right.
a lot of venues have all these extra strict
that's what I was
rules
about to
on
ask you. Are they asking you to do this? Are you guys going above and beyond to say we will fire flame?
No,
It
they're
must be
asking
getting
us.
worse since those 40 people.
Because I've never really heard of this before.
got
Have you?
killed.
Like I don't know about that.
If it's honestly, I'd say in restaurants and retail, it's
Cool.
definitely more. Or if it's like a historical building that doesn't have sprinklers, things like that. It is. I would say it's a very small percentage of our projects. It's usually maybe only once a year, once or twice a year, that we have something like that. But if it's on a retail or a restaurant, it's something that is like part of what the business has to do to check off their like regulatory boxes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
When I used to sell supermarkets, I bought a Mini Cooper pickup truck in Holland, a really old one.
That sounds adorable.
And I used to load up the back of it with flowers.
Do you have a picture of that thing?
Somewhere we have it.
We tried to find it.
No, I have it in my drawer, I think. Anyway, one time, fire marshal was in there and he said, that car can't be in here. And the only way that car can come back in there is if all the fluids were drained out of the motor.
Mm-hmm. So the oil, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, any trade show we do now,
gas.
there's always a car line in there that says there's no oil, blah, blah,
no
blah.
gas, no oil, no nothing. So from that point, we had to put it on a trailer and we pushed it around.
Sure.
Yeah. But
they ruined it.
Yeah.
Fucking
no, makes
rules.
sense. You don't want to
Well,
cause
they
a
didn't
fire.
ruin it, but I mean, who knew? I didn't even.
Yeah, no.
Just something you don't think about, and one
Yeah.
of those many things you never think about
Yeah. Until you have to deal with
until
it.
you have to
Or
deal with it.
until
Yeah,
one
there's
of
a
your-
fire.
Until
and then,
one of your
yeah.
insulation goes up in flames. Yeah. Ooh.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of your clients are corporate, right?
Yeah. Most of, pretty much all of them
For now.
for now.
For
although
now.
Could we,
But you got she's got big corporate. I
No, I
we're
wasn't
talking
trying to downplay it.
HBO,
I'm just
Google,
saying that's a market.
LaCroix,
Who are they? Who are
Absolute.
they? Say it again.
Some of her clients include HBO, Google, LaCroix, Absolute,
Ferrari,
Poppy soda.
Poppy
soda.
Soda.
Poppy soda.
Now I want me a Poppy Soda.
Mimi showed me a picture of the Flatiron building that you did something really cool
Yes.
there.
Fuck yeah.
That's when it was.
You know what? I thought that building was fake.
No, that building.
Like in that picture or like
no,
in general?
that building in general.
'Cause, like,
I
all
think-
movies
isn't that
use
the- Isn't that the building that they did? What's that movie? The Wick. The John Wick. Isn't
John
that
Wick,
That's the
yeah.
Continental.
That's the Continental.
Yeah.
I totally thought that was a fake building, and then I was like,
That's
and I was
the
like, wait a
Continental.
second, maybe she did it for the movie.
I
was
actually
like,
watched an interesting YouTube on the history of the Flatiron building. That's
What-
pretty interesting.
the building itself.
Mm-hmm.
Give me
It's
one fun
amazing.
fact.
It was a whole bunch of buildings. They bought it. The owners, they bought it. Then they failed, and then another person came in and bought it. And
Why is it called the Flatiron?
Because it looks like an iron.
Okay.
A Flatiron.
Fair enough.
It's the weirdest shaped building in the world.
It's a corner. Yeah, I know that.
corner.
It looks like the old-fashioned.
That room in the
Flatirons
corner
where
has
they-
to suck.
with
Or it's
iron-
really
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It's either good or bad.
That actually is an interesting, not like super interesting, but I think that was a pivotal like moment for us as a company. We had talked to a sponsor, so that was for a leaf flower show.
Yes, that's what it did.
And we had got secured Flatiron as our location, and we were supposed to have a corporate sponsor to do that installation, but it fell through. And I
Did
was
you have
like,
to get permits to do that?
they had permits. They had a partnership with.
That's the show that does all the outside installations in New York every year.
Yeah. They had the permit already secured, which is great because it's expensive, right? So they had a partnership with like NYC, whatever, whoever runs that department. But the corporate sponsor fell through. And I was like, you know what? We still, even if I have to bankroll this, like we still have to do this installation because when am I ever going to get
Right.
the opportunity to do an installation in front of the Flatiron building ever again?
I
And
saw a lot of hot pink in there.
there was a lot of coral charm peony.
Coral champinis.
Yeah. Smoke bush,
How
pampas
many
grass.
stems were in there? There had to be thousands.
It actually wasn't as big as you might think that it was.
Perspective.
Excuse me. No, it wasn't. It wasn't actually that large. I'll pull up some photos and show you. But it was probably maybe at max like 2,000 stems. Maybe it wasn't really.
That's
that
still a lot
large.
of stems.
Yeah, I
of
guess it
coral
is. I
charm.
guess it is.
2,000 stems,
But not
at
of-
$5 a piece.
Not,
Yeah.
Well, not all of coral charms. I just mean like overall,
Yeah.
like with everything. But that installation, we put it up overnight, and it rained. It poured. We had to
No
pop up
way.
this huge pop up
Oh,
tent
shit.
over all of our stuff because we also had pampas grass, of course. But you know, it stopped raining. The sun came out. It was beautiful. And the response just from the people of New York City was so overwhelming. Like I was like, oh, I've pulled an all-nighter. I'm going to go home and go to bed. Forget it. I didn't leave the Flatiron all day because I was just watching people come and interact with my work.
That's so awesome.
And there were just a line all day long.
People lined up just to take a
Yes.
picture.
And I was like, and it really,
Nice.
that was the star of the show that year for the Leaf Flower Show. It was their first year. I'm really proud of that. I mean, we got so much press coverage. It was incredible. And it's been like iconic kind of for us and our work.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you. It was awesome, but it just goes to show that sometimes like, you know, the corporate sponsor fell through and I could have very easily said like,
Just moved on.
you know.
You could have
but,
said this is a sign not to do this.
Yeah,
you
but
took it
instead
as
I
a-
was just like, no, my gut says like do this, like you're not going to have this opportunity again, and it more than paid off.
the show must go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And when was that? What year was that?
That was 2019.
19.
Recently.
Yeah.
Although it feels like a really long time ago.
Well, because COVID.
COVID threw everything off.
everything
2019 does feel like a while ago.
Yeah, it
I mean,
does.
5 years ago.
Well, the whole world has changed since then, right? So, I mean, it's COVID was such a life-altering thing that it changed everything.
It really was, yeah.
But you travel constantly then.
I do travel quite a bit. I love to travel. I also say that part of loving New York is leaving New York. I think it's important to get the hell out of there every now and then. I mean, I love going back home there.
My mother won't leave.
She won't?
No. She's in the same apartment for more than 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah, she won't leave.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty great there. It's kind of like nothing like it. But I love all the places in the world that flowers have taken me. And I love traveling.
Me
you know,
too.
How far have the flowers taken you?
Cartagena, Colombia,
Yeah.
which is
Colombia,
awesome.
pues.
Did you get to visit a farm while you were down there?
I didn't actually. It was like it was for a wedding. It was.
Was it out on an island or was it in?
No, it was. So it was in Cartagena. And yeah, it was awesome. We partnered with a local florist. Just because a lot of the sort of stipulations around the venues and things were like pretty crazy. Like our load-in time. For the church, I think we had 15 minutes to set. 15 minutes.
Shit.
Yeah, shit is right.
That's not enough.
So like
Oh
everything,
my
of course,
God.
had to be, and that, and then doing the New York Stock Exchange were the quickest turnaround times I ever had to do, because New York Stock Exchange,
like
was
literally on the floor?
it was in the studio where they like
Where they ring,
Ring
the
the
bell?
bell.
Sure.
and it's a television studio. That was for Rent the Runway when they went public. That was just, I think, a year and a half ago or so. But that one, I think we had like 10 minutes as well, because it was in between, you know, it's like live television studio. They're like, okay, this segment's done. So our entire installation was staged outside the door on dollies, and they're like, okay, go. And it's like NASCAR flowers,
Yeah,
you know, just
exactly.
like,
Pit crew come running in.
yep, just like plug it in, hope that it looks good, you know, make a couple adjustments, and then get the hell out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've had some pretty interesting like turnaround times. But yeah, so Cartagena, and then south of France, which was also for a wedding. So we do weddings, but and we're going to be doing a lot more, which I'm very excited about.
Yay.
But yeah, but corporate has really been our
So
bread
like
there.
You have to go to
bosses of the
Holland.
corporations are getting married.
Well,
right? Or
no, actually, it was just a friend.
Oh,
It
just
was-
friends.
Yeah, it was just a friend. But the Cartagena and the South of France wedding were actually the same bride, same husband too.
Hold on. So they had two weddings?
Yeah, one was like a elopement kind of with their close friends. That was the South of France one. It was almost more like kind of like this photo shoot type situation. It was like
Okay.
very intimate. And then Cartagena was their like family
That's sick.
wedding. But they
That
were
is sick.
I've been married 3 times with the same
With
wife.
Elvis?
Yeah, but none of them were in
Two different
Cartagena or south of
Elvises.
Two
France.
different Elvises.
Yeah.
You need to bring Elvis to south of France next time.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm going there.
Yeah. Bring
Oh
El-
yeah.
We're going on a cruise from Barcelona
Oh, beautiful.
that goes to some stops in Italy and France. And
You get to take a siesta. Those are awesome.
It's that's one of those big cruises, like a 2-3 week cruise, right?
no, it's 1 week cruise, but we're taking a couple extra weeks to visit some spots in Europe.
Wonderful.
I highly recommend you
In
do
March.
that.
In March. Fantastic.
Never in my life did I take any time off in March.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Well, sounds like you have a pretty good team that can
I
run
sh-
shit while you're gone,
I-
which is,
I am very fortunate.
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's a good crew here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I mean, I love coming in here, and what you guys have is pretty special.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So tell us about the collab you have with the lingerie company.
Oh, Adore Me. Well, I mean, the collaboration is,
Fern's very interested.
yeah, and I'm
Yes.
so.
Can I help you on the
I
shoot?
didn't tell them, but if you want to, you can.
I'm so sorry. I was not able to bring you a set of.
I asked her
of
to bring you guys each a pair.
It's technically quote unquote out of print. It was just a short.
So it's a plus size.
They're sold out. No, but it was Adorn Me, right?
Adore Me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a collaboration. Their lingerie company is not plus size, but they have very size inclusive.
Well, I thought when he said that we were gonna wear some.
I was trying to hook you guys up. You know what I mean?
I do think they would fit. They are very size inclusive.
I think you guys would like them.
I got nice legs.
But I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the prints or not, but they're really nice prints.
Yeah, so
you might like them.
They approached me.
Mom would like them.
Not a chance.
Yeah, definitely. She'd be into it. Yeah, see you wearing them. She'd be like, oh, I like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she'd love it. That's amazing. They approached me. Okay, what year is it now? It's 2023. So
it's the end of 2023.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's the end of 2023. Last year, just before the end of the year, they approached me. They're like, look, we'd love to collaborate with you. I thought they just wanted to do like, a social media post or something. And then it turns out they wanted to do a product line with me, which I was just so excited about. And I already am a customer of the brand. They're, like I said, they're size inclusive, and which is really important to me. And they don't really do a lot of retouching in any of their photo shoots, and they feature models of every different size, ethnicity, whatever. It's very inclusive. It's a really fucking very cool brand.
What's it called?
Adorn Me.
Adore me. Not adorn.
Oh, what am I saying?
No N.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
My bad.
Adore,
right.
Like I adore
Like
you.
you're adorable, and I
Yeah,
adore
like
you.
you're-
Adorable little teddy bear, you.
Yes, adore me. So we did that collaboration. It launched in the spring. It was really exciting. We did a pop.
How does flowers meet lingerie? How does that, like a runway thing, or?
So we collaborated to create several different prints. And so there was a poppy print. We focused on
the
like
material.
We made, I partnered with their artists to create prints that they then printed on the underwear. Yeah, and so we focused on East Olivia, like signature ingredients: roses, poppies, peonies, tulips. Sorry.
I asked him to bring water.
You want water?
I asked for one, yeah.
Okay, thank you. That partnership is really awesome because, and I want to do more product partnerships. Because East Olivia really kind of has this like lifestyle aspect brand to it as well, which I really love. And since we work with so many brands, it's really fun to be able to collaborate on something like that and create a product that then is like released to the larger world. And then part that I really love with
I don't think I've ever heard that before, where somebody in a flower person is crossing over to do
Fashion.
design for fashion. That's really cool. Yeah.
Well, and fashion's really like one of my biggest inspirations for my work, and so it was a huge honor for sure.
Fashion's a big inspiration for the industry.
Really cool. So you have 81.5 thousand followers.
I do. I have a few followers on Instagram.
How do you get them? I have like 2,000 or
So we
1,000.
could add some more to that. What do they look for?
Yeah. What is your Instagram?
What is my Instagram?
What's your handle?
Oh, East Olivia.
There you go.
East Olivia.
At
Push
East
it now.
Olivia.
Push
There
it
you go.
right now.
We're gonna
East
get
Olivia.
you to 85.
We're gonna get 85.
Get
yeah.
us to 85.
Yeah, right? I'm like, what are they pushing?
I like that. I
The
like
follow,
that.
the follow button.
The-
No, we got
the-
pushing
the
the
like
follow
button,
button.
the follow button. Yeah.
Smash their button.
Smash
So
it.
we've talked a lot about, your transition and, and getting into flowers. You talked a lot of things that you did in 2019. What happened in 2020 when COVID hit?
Oh boy, you guys. I mean, we all went through it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were just on a fucking rocket ship heading into 2020. It was so exciting. We had a lot of booked work in New York, LA, Miami, London. It was the projects that were coming up in 2020 were thrilling to say the least. And then, of course, it just...
What's like the big one that got away that you didn't get to do?
So there's this hyper-realist artist, CJ Hendry.
Oh, yeah.
And she's actually...
Hyper what? What is it?
like hyper-realism.
Yeah.
Like, so she uses...
Colored pencils is her medium.
She uses colored pencils, and it looks like... You should show them one of her things. It looks like a photograph. I mean, it's incredible. She was doing an exhibition in London on flowers, and I was really lucky and got to source many flowers for her that she ended up drawing and creating art pieces from. But we were supposed to do an installation at that exhibition. She purchased, I believe, a very old church in London and renovated it for this exhibition. And we were supposed to do a huge installation at the like opening of it. And that definitely went away, which was so unfortunate. But she remains a good friend. She actually just had a huge exhibition called Hoops that opened up Wednesday night here.
So it's a hoop tree. So
Did you go down there yet, Ryan?
Not yet, no. But it's like 32 different like basketball hoops, all in like one, like spawning from one tree. And apparently, whoever makes all 32 in a row gets $1 million this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. I could use $1 million, but
Get down there, Joel.
Get down there.
yeah, get your ass down there.
Joel, you
Really
suck.
do
I'm a big fan of hers. I follow her on Instagram, and what I love about her is that she does these over the top like installations and like experiences, kind of like how we do our trade shows, but like her art is the drawings. Like she's selling essentially like a colored pencil, like hyper realistic drawing, but she does these over the top installations and things to promote it and sell it, and like that's almost more of the art than the actual art she's selling, which is kind of cool in a way.
Well, yeah, because you can't, unless you are multimillionaire, you probably can't afford the art. Right. So it's very cool that she creates these experiences and she invites the public, gives the public the opportunity to come see her art and interact with other things that she's creating. I think it's really fucking cool. Yeah. So that was one that we were bummed about, but hopefully we'll get to.
So her art is being collected.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, they go for tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. She's very impressive. Yes, that project went away, which was a bummer. But so what we did in 2020 was, so I had done a partnership with Urban Stems. I did their first to market collection of dried and preserved flowers. So kind of going back to my retail days, I was into preserved because, of course, being in a retail store, things just die. Mm-hmm. And especially if you're not there every second of the day to switch out water or whatever.
I don't mean to interrupt. Was it Urban Stems by East Olivia, or was it just under Urban Stems?
No, it was Urban Stems by East Olivia.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. But I've had experience working with preserve for a long time. I would say that East Olivia definitely is a big part of the resurgence of dried flowers and what dried flowers are known as on trend today. When I was sourcing dried flowers, like it was not at the markets.
Like the bleached and the dry.
Yeah, all of that kind of.
No, but she's going back to, Earth Matters, and getting flowers from Japan and worldwide sourcing. Yeah,
Earth Matters and Mountain Farms were like my first suppliers, and then of course Cass and Chris from Dutch Flower Line, when they would go over to Holland, they would bring back stuff especially for me. I was like the only one that was like wanting dried flowers, and I was doing pampas grass, but I was dyeing it, and I was a big part of, with a few other key designers, I think in the US at the time, like kind of bringing dried flowers sort of back in as like what we know them now as a trend. And so Urban Stems sought me out to do this partnership with them, which was very successful. And I was excited because I didn't really have an interest in having my own direct consumer brand then.
Do you have somebody like an agent or somebody that talks to them first, or you do it all yourself?
So my marketing director at the time, she's moved on actually to Adore Me. They kind of poached her from me, but it's okay because we're all still very much like in love with each other, so it's good. And I'm so proud of her and so excited for her. So it's like actually all amazing things. But she really helped foster a lot of those deals and things at the time. I do have a manager now who I'm working with on different projects, but I just signed on with her a few months ago, but really my marketing director was helped in brokering those deals. But Urban Stems came to us. I developed that collection because I was like, this is great. I want to do this, but I don't want to be responsible for customer service and shipping and all that bullshit. Sounds like a lot to me.
It is a lot.
It is a lot, right? So the collection did wildly well. And I will say, kind of back to the like good, the bad, and the ugly of flowers, like Urban Stems wanted to do the partnership again, but the deal wasn't right for me. I pushed back and they were like, no, you can't have what you want. And I was like, all right, I'm walking away then. It's totally fine. They were nice people and all, but it just wasn't going to be for me. I wanted more stake in the game. If I was going to have a collection that did that well, I wanted more money in my pocket.
Did the first one do really well?
Oh yeah. it sold out very quickly.
Like,
That was right at the peak, like
Yeah.
after the hat box phase, but like
Yeah.
still into the preserve phase.
but those were fresh.
yeah. No, it's
No.
dried and preserved
Those
stuff.
Dried and preserved.
Oh, I see.
It was
Dried
Urban
and
Stem's
preserved.
first dried and preserved collection, and definitely the best that they have ever had. I can say that confidently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Say it twice.
Yeah.
Let 'em know.
I can. Yeah, the best dried collection
I'm
they
not-
ever had. For sure.
She.
I'm not a big fan of fresh flowers delivered in a box
Well,
through
yeah,
the U.S. mail. I'm not
Yeah.
a big fan of the fresh flowers
Yeah.
that way.
yeah. Dried and preserved, I think it works a little better.
No, it's perfect.
I think
it's
perfect.
Absolutely. And if you have a
Yeah.
nice package that boxes it
For
well,
sure.
or you take it out
Yeah.
easily and you just plug
Yeah.
and play.
Yeah.
I was at
Money.
Tatuli yesterday with Casey, and they have a direct-to-consumer eucalyptus thing going on,
Oh, interesting.
where they have fresh eucalyptus, and it's they have all the
Health benefits, yeah.
and all
It's
the
a
stuff.
good market, yeah.
A lot of,
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
awesome.
people buy the
That's self-help.
baby blue eucalyptus and you hang it in the shower.
hang
That's
it
what
in
they
the
have.
shower.
That's exactly for
That's
that.
what they have. You
Yeah.
could buy one bunch, you could buy 20 bunches, and they pack it with Arrive Alive, and they put it in these boxes like that. I think is fine. That's not going to come to you like all fucked up. It's going to come
Correct.
to you in
Yeah.
good shape.
It's gonna smell amazing when you
Yeah.
open that
Yeah,
box.
that smells
Yeah.
really good.
Doesn't really dehydrate with that Arrive Alive, by the
No.
way.
Gotta do it.
shit
Arrive
works.
Alive, that shit works.
Shit does work.
Got to shout them out.
But yeah, so March of 2020 hit. All of our events went away overnight. The Urban Stems thing wasn't really working out, and I just had this gut feeling. I was like, "What are we gonna do?" And immediately I was like, "Okay, we got to launch a shop." Because I mentioned before with our dried, preserved, and faux, because we do faux installations as well. All that product is rented. So I had a big inventory of dried and preserved product, and obviously a lot of vases. And so on a Monday, which was the Monday before New York City shut down, because New York shut down on a Friday, I asked my whole staff to come over to my home studio, and I'm like, let's design a collection. And it was a very scary time, right? Like they were like, "You want us to leave our houses?"
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was a lot for me to ask of them. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yes, because otherwise I don't know that I'm going to have a job for you, and I want to make sure that we have, that we're producing some kind of
You're a
income, right?"
responsible boss.
Yeah, trying to be, right? So we came together, we designed a collection. We went to Bridget's apartment, which is just 10 blocks north of me in Harlem. She's beautiful natural light. We shot all the arrangements. Janina busted her ass, put together a website.
And
all
you
this
have
copy.
that photography experience.
Well, I shoot mostly just with my iPhone, and with Instagram is kind of really where my like quote unquote photography shines. But Janina was actually a professional photographer, my marketing director. So she would capture all of our imagery for us, which is amazing.
Smart.
So we were able to launch an entire website. I made kits for my designers. Those kits went home with them so that they could create the arrangements safely from their home and ship them out. We launched the website, and we have done pretty damn well over the last couple of years. It's been really exciting.
Don't underplay
what is
it.
that
Don't
website?
be
It's
modest.
shop eastolivia.com. And we release a new collection, kind of like in line with fashion, spring, summer, fall, all that. Our biggest collections are launched in spring and fall. And we do little capsules for the holidays and Valentine's Day as well. But launching direct consumer was really exciting, and just the response that we got from our community was huge. A lot of support. We typically do about $500,000 a year in that business.
Damn.
And that's for a little
That's
company.
a good business.
You're
Yeah,
watching The
for-
Wire.
You know I am. I'm in season 3. Oh, I can't. I love it. Marlo just showed up.
So that business has been really important to us, and I'm very interested in scaling that business. I believe that there's really nothing quite like what's in the market. Like, we really create beautifully arranged dried florals. Like, they're all arranged by hand, obviously.
Where are you doing the fulfillment of that?
Out of Long Island City.
Ah.
Yeah. Although I do think, New York is a quite expensive place to run a business that's handmade. So I don't know that as we scale, it will continue to be there. I've got my sight set on maybe Florida, but we'll see.
Florida's where it's
Yeah,
at.
we'll
There ain't no cheap deals around here.
Yeah.
Not down here.
I don't think Miami would be the solution. But
not far from Miami, 10 miles.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Apalaka and Hialeah Gardens, just right around Miami, the perimeter of Miami. You can find great warehouse space.
Yeah, but don't go there. That's where they shoot First 48,
No, not anymore. It's all around the airport. There is all Fortune 500 companies with warehouses and stuff, and they're all lots of brand new warehouses out there with high ceilings. So you don't need a lot of floor space for storage. You go up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so we're running that business out of Long Island City. I really love that business. It's just, COVID is really tough. We're still recovering. It's tough, talking about kind of the dirty, bad side of flowers. I mean, running a floral design business is really challenging. We've got still a lot of recovery to do from COVID. But it was really inspiring to kind of see how we pivoted, not only with direct to consumer, but also just with in-home experiential offerings. Like I did a fresh floral box. I partnered with Dutch Flower Line on that. It was called Flower Therapy. And
nice. Great name.
Yeah, thank you.
Flowers, self-care made easy.
Exactly. Ooh, thanks for that tagline.
Oh, but that's cow flowers.
That's cow flowers. Have you seen that?
I have
It's
actually.
really good.
It is really good. It is really good.
Green juice.
Green juice. But yeah, no. So COVID was a shit show. It was really hard. But it birthed our direct consumer business, which I'm so proud of, and I really see that as the future of scaling for East Olivia, and becoming more of a household name. So I'm really I can't wait to see what we do with that. It's gonna be,
where do you find all the time in the day?
Oh, guys, I'm tired.
You're gonna wind up.
I'm fucking exhausted, and
So it's a Cuban coffee for
yeah, it's a Cuban coffee for me. That's why I probably got to move down here to Miami so I can stay.
That'll help.
Liquid cocaine helps, right?
Riled up. It is very hard. Having a strong team, I'm sure, as you know, is key. And I've made some mistakes with people that I've hired over the years, but I have to say, right now, I probably have the most solid, incredible team. I got to give a special shout out to Bridget and Trevor on my team, who are
go Bridget, go Trevor.
Oh my gosh,
you guys
give
are
you a
awesome.
high five on that.
Yeah. Oh, and Laura too, my
Go
admin
Laura.
gal. God. Yeah, it's
Don't forget anybody. They'll be butthurt if they hear this.
Oh, I'm sure. I know they're going to be upset, but those three are my superstars. They really keep things moving. But it is challenging to get it all done, right? It's really hard. And I also have you mentioned my Instagram following. I have a manager and a bit of an influencer kind of gig life going on.
Sure, yeah.
So after this, I think I'm going to head over to the Meta Creative House or whatever they have going on for Art
Nice.
Basel, which will be
Is
fun.
Art Basel going through Sunday? Does it go through Sunday?
I think it goes
Kind of,
through
yeah.
even
I mean,
Monday.
you gotta have-
maybe.
you gotta-
Creative house.
Or some, I don't know
Meta's
that-
Facebook.
Yeah.
Meta's now
Oh.
Facebook.
Meta
Yeah,
World.
it's Facebook. Yeah, and it's I don't think that's the right name. It's something like that.
It's probably something like that, though.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I avoid the design district and South Beach. I avoid all those
I
areas
haven't been to
this
beach
week.
yet, thankfully. Like
All I've
everything's
seen
been
is
off beach for me
videos
this
of
week.
traffic. That's
Yeah, I mean,
all
it's been
I've
a lot of
seen.
traffic, but I've been staying in Miami Shores with a friend, which has been amazing. And then all my events have been in design districts. So I've really
Not
only
far,
hit, it's
yeah.
really been quite enjoyable. But I'm going to go to the Nylon party tonight, and that's going to be on beach. And I'm like, oh, it's going to probably take me an hour to get there. Probably.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
you're supposed to
Worth
be an
it,
hour
though.
late. It's
supposed to be
normal.
worth it.
Yeah,
It's normal.
it should be
No
worth
one
it.
shows up on time in Miami. It's against the law.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're now thinking also into weddings.
Yes, so we
So
launched
tell
weddings.
us about that.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. It's so funny because a lot of floral designers want to know more about how we get so much corporate work, and I am just so much more interested in weddings as of late. I'll tell you a couple things about why. Corporate work is incredible and it's really creative and fun, but you are dealing with a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape, 30, 60, 90, some days 120 day payment terms. It can be very challenging for cash flow to take on corporate gigs if you don't have a bit of a cushion, which thanks to COVID, we really don't. So it can be very challenging. So having very strong relationships on the corporate side so that you can kind of get around some of those things is really important. Yeah, so because of that, I really think it's important for us from a business perspective to balance out the business to bring in weddings. And, so much of our work is creating something beautiful and then putting a logo right on top of it. And I'm actually very excited to be able to create some work that is logo-less and that is just creative and beautiful, an expression of somebody's story.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we just recently had a wedding showcase in New York. We partnered with New York Flower School, this incredible design firm called 23 Layers and Neon River Weddings. And then Fleur-Metz worked with us, and we created, it was called the Museum of Matrimony, and we created 3 different concepts.
What were the concepts?
So there was Playing House, Timeless Love, and Surreal Romance. I'll show you some pictures.
Yeah,
it turned out really cool. And if you keep an eye on our Instagram, we're going to be sharing more and more.
I imagine you're
peach, white, vibrant colors.
Huh?
Well, no, all of our styles are
like-
vibrant colors. So
Yeah,
I imagine most of your weddings are going to be focused on color, right?
Yeah, and I mean we do everything right. We
Color enhanced roses. Here we come.
Yeah, exactly.
She's ready for an East Olivia official collaboration rose.
Love it.
yeah.
I think she needs
Love
a
it.
rose.
What would that color be, do you think?
Yeah.
Ooh, it would probably have to be an East Olivia pink.
East Olivia pink or like solid pink or like a gradient pink? Or we like
gradient
two-tone?
Is pink like your trademark?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pink is my trademark
like
for
it.
sure. Yeah, there's not. I mean, the dopamine that I get from pink is like ridiculous. I really don't understand it. It just makes me happy.
what?
Like
The dopamine.
Dopamine.
I get the dopamine hit. Like
You know what dopamine is?
It's
It's positivity, positive vibes.
Oh,
it's what your body releases when you have a
chemical.
good moment, or you smoke a good joint or have a good
yes,
drink.
a good joint. Oh God,
Releases dopamine.
Like when I see the pink buses here in Miami, I'm just like, they're so cute. Makes me so happy. I'm like, is it normal to be made this happy by just seeing a pink bus ride down the street? I don't know.
You'd like the flower
me
click.
and Casey went to a dispensary.
I know Casey
Did
did.
you?
but
I
did you go
knew
with him?
Casey was gonna go. So you went? Did you go
I
inside?
went with him. Yeah.
What'd you think? Was it a good experience? Was it a good
Did you get some
shopping?
gummies?
It was like a teenage girl selling him stuff.
She was
like,
21. We clarified.
I was going to
this
say, you
already.
never know how old
No.
people
I was
are
like-
nowadays.
and she seemed to know everything.
It's
Like
great.
Casey was asking all these questions. I was like, "What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?" And he says, "Okay, how?" And she knew all the answers.
You can go to school to be a bud tender.
Hell
That's what
yeah.
they call them, bud
Bud
tenders.
tender.
You can be school for
So
that.
they have free coffee. And I said, "Oh, can I have a cup of coffee?" And the machine wasn't working. And the security guard got on the radio, "Can I have a bud tender in the front?" And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, bud tender.
Yeah.
That's one thing we haven't talked about yet is the other kind of flower. My favorite kind.
Is that your favorite? Because it's our favorite
That's
kind.
Our
Oh, you're in the
favorite
right
kind.
place. Here.
I'm a little bit of a big pothead.
Hey, we found
Oh man.
Oh,
we
yeah.
found our
Right
common
place.
thread.
I only hire
Said they're-
potheads.
Oh, good.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
There's some of the best employees around.
Yeah.
Our fellow potheads here.
Absolutely.
Are you? Do you prefer flower, vapes, edibles? What's your go-to?
I prefer flower.
Yeah.
Me too.
I
Old
really like a
school.
little joint. I have these really cute
The little dog walkers.
I get these little pink cones.
The Mary Blazes. What is it? What is it called? Something like that.
What are they called? Blazy Susan.
Blazy Susans. There it is.
Blazy
That's what
Susan.
they're pink pre-rolls. I know exactly
not
what you're talking
not
about.
sponsored by them, but I
No,
would
no,
be
but
happy
she
to
could
be.
be. That'd be a good
Yeah,
sponsor
that
for
would be a
you.
good
Shit,
sponsor.
that's a great sponsor for the Two
I
Fat
actually
Guys podcast.
I have like a vision. I'm a serial entrepreneur over here. I want to start a weed accessories company at some point.
Like what kind of accessories? Like houseplant?
No, like okay, so like I don't know how to roll a joint, which is like embarrassing but funny. I wish somebody would teach me. But so I use these little pink cones and I have like a little funnel and I want to make like pink funnels and little tamping sticks and like all and little trays. Like I just, a lot of the sort of products, accessory products around weed. There's so much more now that's very sexy and cool, but a lot of it is just like cheesy and sort of ugly.
It's old school stoner, Scooby Doo or some anime.
I feel like you guys have you not linked up with the My Bud vase? The ladies who do like the really elaborate, it's a bong, but like they look really like flower vases.
No.
But when you buy one from them, they come with some preserved flowers in the vase.
What?
Because it's like a decoy.
Okay, so
I think
need
you guys
to
would
get
link up
in
with
with
that.
that.
Yeah.
My Bud vase.
My
You
Bud
gotta
vase,
check them
okay.
out.
But they're like really ornate bongs that look
But
like vases.
cool.
there is a gap in that industry, in the marijuana industry, to have luxurious accessories. Something I'm gonna put next to my watch on the table.
Because it's like for
that
me,
looks
it's
good.
like it is like a self-care. It's ritualistic.
100%,
Like I love that,
100%.
and I want it to all be beautiful. Like I want it to also be an expression of me. I don't want it to be like Scooby Doo or fucking,
Sure.
tie dye with.
You got your first customers right here.
Okay, perfect.
We are all in.
We're
Look,
on.
we can test the product
test
line.
them.
We
Right.
can take
Okay, great.
photos.
These guys
I
will
give
do
you
whatever
great
you want.
experience.
Hell yeah.
Right. We got
Okay,
we got
great.
all kinds of feedback.
Yeah, and I want to call it flower and flower.
Ooh, I like
Flower
it.
and flower.
Yeah.
When I go home, sometimes I call it floor 20. I get high and then I'll arrange the flowers.
Hell yeah. I love getting stoned and arranging. It is. There's nothing like it.
That's
It's my
part of that
favorite.
flower therapy you were making.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Yeah,
right. It fits right in there.
It's a dream of mine to do like a workshop where we like smoke weed and then arrange.
Well, we can't do it because it's not legal in Florida, but it is legal in New York. So you let us know when you want to do that.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
What's not
Yeah,
legal?
I'll
It's
have
not
to fly up
technically
there
it's not
and
legal
help
in
you
Florida. It's
sponsor.
only
I
medicinal
think
legal in
so.
Florida.
100%.
So
I'll
we
have to
can't
fly up.
have
You gotta.
a workshop.
Pockets has a card to go.
You can have a
He does.
medicinal card in Florida, but not yet. You can't do like
it is,
anything.
It is going on this
recreational.
ballot.
It is.
2024
Yeah, I did see that.
is the year we were expecting this to finally.
Do you think if Joe
recreational.
Biden wants to get reelected, he should just
That's his best shot.
Legalize
That's
weed.
one of
That
his
is-
best
that
shots because
is
he's got really no shot
probably
right now.
He's
his
really,
really
got no
closest
shot.
to stay exciting and he can cheat his way in would be to legalize it.
do any of the presidential candidates do they talk about it and say I want to legalize it? Because I think
I think
he'd get a whole
DeSantis
bunch
is
of-
against it,
I think a whole bunch
DeSantis is
of
against
votes.
it.
and he's your best. He's your front runner right now.
No, Trump is still the front runner.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were
Trump's
driving on the
definitely
highway
front.
and it's just giant billboards for the dispensaries in California.
Oh
Everywhere.
yeah, I mean there's
It's-
so many of them. It's awesome.
Chicago is actually. I had really good bud tenders in Chicago when I was there
Bud tenders,
in
that's so
July,
funny.
but
Yeah,
they are
I like
the
it.
most expensive dispensary visit I've ever
Oh,
had.
this
was
wasn't
Chicago.
cheap. Casey wanted to pay for his shit with a debit card. They said no, you have
No,
to use the
you go to the ATM and
They
pay
had like
cash.
12 ATMs.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
They
The
had like
dispensaries
12
are not cheap.
ATMs lined
Yeah.
up.
No, they're
No,
definitely
it
not
was.
cheap.
But Chicago,
I wound up
I
paying
haven't
for
been
'em.
to California. I haven't been there, but Chicago was.
It's
by
crazy
far
though
the
in
most
New York,
expensive.
you guys. Like it's legal, but there's only a handful of legal dispensaries.
Yeah.
Because
I think they just had a lawsuit about that
Yeah, the
because they
rollout
weren't
has
allowing
been
them.
booked. Like I mean, listen, I'm not going to criticize because that's not my job and I wouldn't know how to do that job better, but it just did not roll out very well. So most of the dispensaries in New York are actually illegal and they're all over the place. It's interesting. And it's mostly California weed. And then you're just paying, which it's not that California is super expensive. It's okay. Like the pricing is like
No, but you're
decent.
paying the
But
transportation.
then
That's the
they're
cost.
marking it up.
Right.
So I'm like getting my baby Jeters and they're like $1 million. I'm like, oh my God.
So I asked Casey, how did you know where these places were? And he goes, I used weed maps.
Yeah, weed
Yeah.
maps.
And I says, oh, did you know the new CEO of Comet
Comet
Sales
Sales.
used to be the CEO of Weed Maps?
oh,
right.
That's awesome.
So the guy that our industry uses on the distribution side, we use a lot. Most of people using a software called Comet Sales,
okay.
and what are they? A venture capital company that came in?
VC came
VC
in.
company came in there and bought out the majority stake, and then they put a CEO in there who happened to be
from Weed Maps,
From
which
Weed
is
Maps,
cool.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really interesting guy too. He knows a lot of stuff.
I use Weed Maps in every city. In Weed Maps,
I learned
from
that.
your cabin, you go to the Indian reservation, and that's the place where you can get weed
Oh,
from
really?
your cabin. Yeah. I looked that up, and I was like, that's a little far, so I brought my own.
Okay,
But-
so next time we do this podcast, we have to.
I was totally
Also-
smoking. If I
I was gonna
would've
say
known
we
you
already smoked
We
before
smoked
it.
before.
Yeah,
What? Where's my invite?
Don't
We'll
worry,
have to
we
do-
got
we'll
you.
do the
We're
post
not
and the
done.
pre.
The
Yeah,
day's not
okay.
done.
The day is not done. There's
These
much
guys
more
don't
to
start
be
a podcast unless they go outside to the car first.
That's really funny.
You don't get a good intro unless
That's
I'm
right.
high.
It's all about the entertainment
all about the
value.
intro.
But see, the problem with me when I smoke weed, in terms of doing we'll have great conversation, but then I'll be in the middle of a sentence and be like,
Oh yeah, you
was
lose
I
your train
talking
of thought for sure.
I was
Or-
like, wait,
that
just
mad.
a complete blank
Squirrel.
wall. Like,
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
I think our podcast fans are used to that.
yeah, okay,
You know
that's
what
all
I mean?
right.
They
That's
understand
all
that a little bit.
right. Yeah, awesome.
Can you reach? No, got it. Never mind.
Got the
You should
question.
know them in your head already.
I think I do, but I don't want to.
Try to do it without the paper.
All right, I'll try.
I think you know.
I'll try. Okay, so we usually end the podcast asking you a bunch of random, fun, quick answer questions.
Okay.
Some are flower related, some aren't. Just give us your gut response, okay?
Okay.
That's the best way to do it.
Okay, great.
All right. First question is, in your opinion, what is the best sandwich?
Ooh, well, when in Rome, I would say Cuban sandwich.
Okay.
Hmm.
In your opinion, what's your favorite flower? At the moment, I should say.
Weed. She just said it.
Indica sativa.
That's so funny. Oh gosh. You know what's so funny? People always ask me that question, and I never know how to answer it.
That's why I say at the moment.
At the moment, I know I don't even have a gut reaction. At the moment, I would probably say, even though it's not in season, smoke bush.
Cool.
Like,
Love it. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, we
Uncle,
got the guy.
Uncle Carl from Canada.
Yeah.
We got the
We got
guy,
the
man.
guy.
Just
Stick man.
fucking love smoke bush. Like, I just think it's so
Oh, you
Cool.
go on your Instagram and check out Green Park Nurseries.
okay.
Well,
Green partners.
I'll forward
man
to you.
Carl.
I got
Okay.
you.
Hell yeah. Can't wait.
cousin
He's
Carl.
got the best smoke bush on the planet.
Yeah. Okay.
Him and Sun Valley.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
lame.
That's right. What is the scariest animal?
Scariest animal? Maybe a tiger?
Sure.
No.
That's the king. That's the king of the jungle. We're the real king of the jungle. Sorry, I forgot my question. Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
No.
Really? All that time in the
No,
music
but I
industry?
have asked them for a hug.
That cat. Who? Who have you asked for a hug?
That's just so
You meet
niche
someone-
and like, I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, Flight of the Conchords.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Jermaine or Brent?
both of them at a party, and I was like,
Who was the better hugger?
probably Jermaine. I was like, can I have a hug?
That's awesome.
Did
I
it give
love
you a weird look? They was like,
No, they
"Oh."
were so nice. They were so nice.
They're from like New Zealand. They got like a show on HBO a while back.
Oh, it was
But yeah,
so
big
funny
fun.
and ridiculous.
Most overrated flower.
Most overrated flower.
Yeah, a flower you see like, why the fuck are you
Gosh,
using this?
Astro.
Yeah, okay.
Or Alstroemeria, not
Sure.
Astro. Alstroemeria.
Most underrated flower.
Carnations.
There you go.
Number one answer.
What's your
Number one
go-to way to
survey says-
relax? Although I think I might know.
Oh yeah, just a little joint.
Little
at
joint,
the end.
little joint.
At the
What
end
was
of
it?
the day.
A Pink Susan or?
Blazy Susans.
Blazy
a Blazy
Susan.
Susan
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
That's
yeah.
right. What kind of flowers do you want at your funeral?
Pink Pampas.
I imagine a lot of pink pampas, right? Or color.
Fiery
Color. Color in general.
You know.
Fire retarded pink pampas grass.
Oh gosh. At my funeral, I think I would like just all pink flowers, some coral charms, and maybe some painted houses, some custom houses.
There you go.
stems.
Some customs. I like
There we
that.
go.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think
Along
at
with
least
your
an East Olivia
exclusive,
custom house
hippie
stems
psychedelic
could be-
rose.
Yeah, yeah. She and I need to do a collab on
Definitely. I
that.
can
Hell
see
yeah.
that.
We need East Olivia to come to our next Fresh
Hippie
Fest.
love it.
She
Oh, yeah.
literally mentioned that without even me bringing it up. She approached me about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
it's on my radar. I'm like, bring me
knows-
to Ecuador too. I'll do
She
both.
knows what's up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
absolutely. Hell yeah.
If you got one superpower, what would it be?
I think it would be. Oh gosh, superpower. What is it called when you just want to like transport yourself somewhere?
Teleport.
Teleport. Yeah, teleportation.
I like
Fuck yeah.
that.
No traffic.
No traffic.
waiting. Instant gratification.
Instagram.
Pick a movie or TV character to have lunch with.
Bill Murray.
Just
Oh,
any
Bill Murray
Fuck
from
yeah.
What About Bob? I don't know
Okay.
if you guys have ever seen
Oh,
that
there you
movie.
go.
but-
Shit.
I like it. I like it.
I like them in Caddyshack.
I think he's a.
Caddyshack.
I think he's
Oh
a
gosh, I
pothead.
just
He'd be a
love
good
him.
pothead.
He's just so amazing.
I like to smoke a joint with that guy.
Have you guys ever seen What About Bob?
yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite movie of all time. So ridiculous. So silly. So
Explains a lot about you. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Wait, Joel, have you seen What About Bob?
No shot.
No
shot.
No, I wasn't even thinking of
just to
asking him
fill
'cause I
you
knew
in,
the answer.
Joel is like
I was waiting.
he's like a unicorn where he doesn't watch almost any movie. So like you can
But
imagine.
even still, I can tell by looking at you that you're young and like, I mean.
But even like a young movie, you would.
But
think
he
he'd
knows
watch.
every
He didn't.
YouTube sensation, I guarantee.
I don't
you.
know anything about YouTube.
As a kid, yeah. No.
I think you're still a kid, maybe.
Yeah.
No?
He's that kid you can't tell if he's 17 or 22.
That's right. He's actually 30.
Connor's like that too.
Connor is like
Connor's
that. You
like
can't
that,
tell if he's 17 or 22.
Oh my
So weird. I've gotten to that age.
Oh,
Can't
man.
tell anybody's age anymore.
Yeah. No, it's kind of nice though, huh?
It's funny you say teleport because as a boss, as a leader, a lot of times I will ask somebody that I'm trying to have a conversation with about something that might be wrong or something that I have an opinion of or whatever it is. And I'll say, hey, teleport yourself into my body right now
Oh, that's a good
and
thing.
see how
See
you
it
would
from my eyes.
see it from my teleport in here.
That's such a good thing to say because I feel like that is a big challenge as a boss, as a business owner, as an employer, like, and even somebody that is more like well known in your as a leader in your industry or whatever. Like people just assume a lot.
They assume you know shit.
Well, but they also assume that
you
their
know.
perspective is maybe the only perspective, or that their perspective is reality, right? And so I think to like ask people to step into, you know, your perspective for a minute is
I
a
use
really cool
teleport
thing.
all the time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Plus, I also ask Alexa to beam me up once in a while, and she does it.
What does she say?
She does it.
She does it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Do you have an Alexa?
I don't let the government in my house.
That's
sorry.
right.
Please.
That's
They're
right.
all
Don't
over.
let
You
him
need
in.
a
Don't let
warrant.
him listen.
You need a fucking
That's
warrant
right.
to get in my place.
They were
Sorry.
in your phone way before they were in your Alexa.
My FBI agent works hard for
They're
me.
actually in your OnStar in your car.
Yeah.
They're
They're
everywhere.
everywhere.
So don't worry.
Yeah,
Do you
I have
believe in
one
the
of those-
chemtrails?
The what?
The chemtrails?
I don't know what that is.
Are you a
okay.
conspiracy theorist?
No,
No,
I
she
don't think
doesn't.
so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh man,
That's his
There's
thing.
a
That's why I asked.
whole
Okay.
rabbit hole to go down there.
God.
Let me
I'll tell you about it later. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Amazing.
Leave me alone.
Your questions.
All right, so people can get in contact with you through Instagram. You left your Instagram. You left your website.
Mm-hmm.
How else?
East Olivia, right?
Shop.
So, yeah.
It's shopeastolivia.com.
So we have two websites, eastolivia.com, shopeastolivia.com. You can email me. It's just my name, Kelsea, Kelsea, at eastolivia.com. Yeah.
All right, 2 more questions.
Kelsey
Yes.
from New York.
New York. She doesn't talk like a New Yorker.
Not
Well,
yet.
I mean,
California.
I'm a California
Yeah.
girl, like
She's
technically.
playing.
Not yet.
She's playing New
It'll
York.
grow on you.
Yeah.
Because Mike's, it comes
Water.
out of Mike. Water.
Water.
But I also say y'all a lot. I lived in North Carolina for 10 years growing up. So
Which part of North Carolina?
Raleigh.
Okay.
Raleigh and
Right on.
surrounding some
Nice.
little podunk towns around Raleigh.
Y'all
Sure.
got any coffee?
So, who would you love to suggest to be a guest on our podcast in the future?
Amy Nicole, the floral coach. Do you guys
Oh
know
yeah,
Amy?
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we know
For
Amy.
sure.
Amy Nicole,
She's
I
great.
think, is one of the most brilliant and
I met her
talented
at CAD.
educators.
Met her at CAD. We see her at SAF every year.
Guys,
Yeah.
she's the real fucking deal, that
Yeah.
woman.
I
She
think
knows
she's
her
been
shit.
nominated, been on by someone else
She's
too.
been. This is the
Yeah.
second time we hear
I
her.
don't-
Let's get Mimi on
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
we can set that up.
You know, and then I'd also say maybe Natalie from Native Poppy. I don't know if you Native Poppy's on your radar. San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're doing such a good job of like modern floristry floral shop. Like
Nice.
she's
Native
she's also
Poppy. Gotta
Native
Google that.
Poppy. Yeah, incredible.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Any suggestions or advice you'd like to give our listeners? Somebody who is, thinking of making a change. You made an entire career change. You didn't know where
yeah.
you were going, and you found a beautiful medium that you felt absolutely in love with.
Yeah.
Any advice you want to give somebody out there who might be thinking of making a change?
Follow your curiosity, and trust your gut. Like, someone was telling me the other day. She's like, "Did you know there are more neurons in your gut than there are in your brain?" Our bodies have so much to tell us, and when we're in tune, we learn so much about what we already kind of know. So I think follow your curiosity, trust your gut, and don't be afraid to take risks. Like staying in the same spot is also a risk. Like people be like, oh, I don't want to start my own thing. I have security at this company. Some guy in a suit could get rid of your job tomorrow. Being at in a corporate environment isn't any more secure than doing your own thing, you know? So
fuck yeah. That's great
Preach.
advice.
Love
Love that.
Thank
Somebody
you.
pass her the basket.
We literally have a basket.
We literally
here.
have a basket to pass you.
Oh.
You don't have to put anything
It's
in
a
it.
church
don't worry.
basket.
It's full of
It's a
stuff, but
beautiful
it should have
metaphor.
dollars.
It's supposed
in
to have
it.
dollars in there.
Yeah.
Where's the money?
Yeah. it should
Well,
have-
that,
we're
we're supposed
slacking.
to put in now that you
It's
preached.
Joelle's fault.
Oh,
yeah,
It's
when you
Joelle's
now that
preach, we
you-
pass around the basket.
God, it's so funny for you that even to register. I'm like, wow, I really haven't been to church. In a
Yeah,
long
exactly. You got to
time.
know that to
We
know
don't need
that.
to talk about
Exactly.
it. We don't need to bring those things up.
All right. You got
Good.
some final thoughts?
Anything? Final thoughts, Michael?
From
I
your
thought it
fellow
was
New
a
Yorker?
great conversation. No, I mean, I'm excited to get to know you better. I really like what you said and what you're doing, and anybody who's hanging out on New York City 28th Street is,
It's good in Mike's
it's
book.
cool, man.
Well, listen, it's an
That's
honor
cool.
to meet you. I'm so impressed by the business that you've built and the
Really? Thank you.
yes, very much. I mean, just the community and culture that you guys have going on here is so
Yeah.
cool. It's palpable. You can like feel the vibes, and that is also not an easy thing as a business owner. I feel like you got to create and hold space for that and create an environment in which people can thrive and connect, and like that's the whole reason I feel like, at least for me, like why, I mean, East Olivia is not called Kelsea Olivia Designs because I always want it to be way bigger than just me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a hard industry. It's very challenging, and I'm so
And it's getting worse. It's getting more challenging each
it's
each and
very
every day.
challenging,
Yeah.
you know. And so I think like business owners that are passionate, committed, creating space for people to have careers in this industry
Mhm.
is so inspiring, and everybody here is amazing. Like I always have a good time. Like this is my spot in Miami when I come here.
Hell
like,
yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it,
We
Kelsey,
appreciate that.
that we all, including myself, came here broken.
Yeah.
We all came here from somewhere else where we really weren't as successful as we should have been.
Yeah.
And then here together,
It works.
it works.
works.
You know,
So
and while doing all this, we're trying to keep it at like a family style business.
Yeah, it's so inspiring for me because my business is still so small. I mean, truly and it can look on the outside, people like, oh my God, like you're doing all this crazy shit. I'm like, yeah, it's Instagram for you. Like, I'm not going to get on here and cry about it, you know, like what's hard or whatever, you know, but it's like, it's so inspiring. And, I really I'm so excited by it. It makes me feel it helps me to see what's possible for the business that I'm building. So it's a beautiful thing. Thank
Wow.
you so much
Love
for
that.
having
Thank you
me.
so
That's
much.
so
We
awesome.
appreciate that.
Yeah, and I
Thanks,
really
do.
I want to hear more stories about your New York, you know, upbringing and what God, I wish I could transport myself back in time to the flower market back in the day, and it's just so cool.
I was telling Casey yesterday while we were walking out of the San Diego flower market, I was like, man, I've done a lot of different things in the business, but hands down, the best time that I had was being able to interact every day with customers.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And
the thing is
that
like
whole yelling, screaming thing, the whole...
I mean, you guys are providing
Yeah.
our medium so that we can do our art. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, like, I have to shout out Dutch Flower Line, Chris at Dutch Flower Line, and Cass, like, and then Valley at Associated too. Those were my, like, and Tom too. But those guys, like, I mean, they make it possible for me to do my work. When I'm here in Miami, you make it possible for me to do my work. And the relationship that we have, like, it's so integral and like just so important, and it's beautiful. Like that's what makes all of this fun. Like without
Yeah.
that, what the fuck is the point? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Love
You
it.
know? And then I love all the challenges and logistics and like, you know, I don't know. It makes you feel like anything is possible. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's you will make lifelong friends in this business, and not many businesses are like that.
No, No,
Yeah.
or people don't stay in the business that long,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, it's
Yeah, because it's a tough one to be in.
And there's really no contracts.
No, our
It's
our
all
industry is so
handshake.
unregulated. It
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah,
fucking
it's Wild West.
No, when you
wild.
talk to other people who are in other industries or something very regulated, or and you explain to them how we do business, they're like, "You're fucking crazy."
Even just a
What do you
corporate
mean there's no
person, or a
contracts?
person that worked at like Target or Publix or something like that. You know what I mean?
Like, what do you mean no guarantee? You
Yeah.
ask the other guy how they pay him, and that's how it goes. I mean,
So
it is
the
crazy.
flower business, the fish business, the produce business, and the diamond business are all handshake businesses.
Wow, that's crazy.
In the diamond district, I know you, you know me. I hand you a bag of diamonds, $2 million. I'll see you next week.
That's crazy.
If you don't
Can
show
you fucking
up,
imagine that?
if you don't show up, though, no. But it's the same in the flower business.
It's how it is.
If you don't show up, everyone's gonna know that
Yeah.
you didn't show up, and now you are.
now you're a pariah.
Our relationships
You're
are
shunned.
our biggest asset
Yes,
in this industry.
Absolutely, yes.
That's it.
And it's, I mean, without these relationships, and I think that's also part of the reason I'm so drawn to it. I love it. It's like
Me
Because
too.
it's about the relationships.
it's-
it's not
Me too.
about the dollars and cents. It's
Yeah,
not about.
it's-
It's about the people.
Yeah.
yeah, and just like the way that I don't know, we can come through for each other. Like it's so cool. Like doing those weddings in Cartagena and south of France, and like it was literally my wholesalers in New York that were supporting me, getting me
Sure.
the shit that I needed, no matter where
Hell
I am
yeah.
in the world. You
Sure.
know, like that shit's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
It's global. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been
No,
really
thank
special.
you for
Thank you.
sharing with us. I
Yeah.
feel like I know you so much more now.
Yeah, me
It was a
too.
great
Yeah,
conversation.
this
Thank
was
you.
awesome. This was
I'm really
awesome.
glad you came down.
Yeah, me too. It's hard to leave this place. I would love to be spending a lot more time here in the winters. I don't love being in New York in the winter.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Me
I saw
neither.
the videos of Rockefeller Center right now, like last night or whatever it was, like sardine cans. You couldn't fucking move by that tree.
Oh yeah,
Oh, man.
it's crazy down there, but it is beautiful, and the city is very magical during the holidays. And it's Fifth Avenue.
Sure.
and, yeah, we get to do some holiday displays too within our work, and so we actually have a Mikimoto that like pearls. I don't know if you guys are familiar. The guy who started Mikimoto, which by the way, you guys should all look into that. It's like crazy story, but he figured out how to like artificially inseminate oysters to create pearls. It's like what that
Sick.
guy did. It's like
Oh yeah. I've seen
Holy
It's
shit!
wild.
That's a thing. No,
yeah, but we got to do a holiday display for them. And they've got one of those stores like off Fifth Avenue. It's like
Oh.
beautiful, and
I saw
really
YouTube
cool.
on that.
We have a line of pearl roses that I think would be good for that.
Ooh, yeah.
Just saying.
That's
Just
good.
saying.
Pearl
Pearlized.
roses. Okay, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Pearlized.
Very cool. All right, guys.
Oh man! All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers, where we're always going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly. Even though today was definitely about the good. Careful with your Pampas glass, because if that catches on fire, it's definitely ugly. Thank you for listening. Ryan, Mike, myself, Joel, and our awesome, amazing guest, Kelsea Olivia. Thank you so much from East Olivia. Thank you so much for being a guest. We really appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
for
you
sharing.
for having me. Let's go smoke a joint, guys.
Let's do
Do
it.
it.